When we're young, we have an amazing, positive outlook about how great life is going to be, but somewhere along the line, we forget to dream and end up settling. Join Up Dots features amazing people who refuse to give up and chose to go after their dreams. This is your blueprint for greatness. So here's your host, live from the back of his garden in the UK, David Ralph.
Yeah, hello, good morning. Good morning to you all out there in the world, or beyond the world, wherever you're listening. Wouldn't it be brilliant if aliens were listening? But of course, aliens don't really exist, but it'd be good. Mate, but maybe some of you out there believe that aliens do actually exist, but then you would be wrong. There might be some plant somewhere, but I don't believe it, do you? But, otherwise they would have come down and seen us. And if they do come down and see us, why do they only find farmers on their own at 3 o'clock in the morning? Why don't they come down at Wembley Stadium during a Coldplay concert that we'd all see? It's they're not trying to get in contact with us. They are not. So, I wasn't expecting to talk about that. But anyway, what I was expecting to talk about, I've actually planned this one today. It doesn't sound like it, but I have planned it. And one of the things that I have been hearing a lot of through people is the fact that they find it very hard to build momentum. And of course, if you are changing your life around, you've got to change your life around. You've got to do things differently, because if you always do what you've always done, you always get what you've always got. And a lot of people are sort of struggling with that. So what I thought I'd talk about today is the theory of pre-commitment. Now, you may not know what pre-commitment is, but it's basically setting up the future to be easier for your future lazy self. Because we all get ideas, don't we? We all get plans. We all go, oh, I'm going to do that. I'm going to learn to, play the piano. I'm going to run a marathon. I'm going to ride my bike 3 times a week. And then when the time comes, you think, I can't be bothered. But you can actually set up things to make it easier for you to actually achieve that by a little bit of forward thinking. Now, this all came from a story back in Greek mythology, from the Odyssey. Now, I've never read the Odyssey, but I've heard this story many, many times. And it was the story of Ulysses. Or Ulysses, probably Ulysses. And there was these things called the sirens, and they were like half woman and half fish, sort of like mermaid. I don't know which way it is, whether it's mermaid, fish head and women's legs, or women's top and fish bottom. I actually had a conversation with a mate once. I said, what would you rather do? Go out with a mermaid that was a fish head and legs of a woman, or the other way round? And he went with the fish head. I said, why would you do that? And he said, because it'd be easier for her to get around. I said, but you're walking around with a fish head and legs. Surely it's better to, I don't know, get her in a wheelchair or something so she looks normal from the top. But he couldn't understand it. So if you ever see somebody walking around with a large cod in a pair of tights and stiletto heels, that's probably my mate. Madness. Now, Ulysses, he knew that there was this thing called the sirens, and they were like sexy fish women kind of things. And what they would do is, when any of the sailors would come along, they would go, ooh, you sexy sailors, come over here and I'll give you some fishy time. And the sailors were always drawn to it. And basically they would sail close to it and hit some rocks, and they would go down and drown. And that's all the sirens were trying to do. They were trying to get these sailors to drown themselves. Not nice at all. And so Ulysses knew that he had to get past these, and so he said to his mates, he said, look, what you want to do, I want you to bind me with tight chaffing ropes so I cannot move a muscle. He was from Greece. He probably doesn't sound like Yorkshire, but in my head it works. You must bind me with tight chaffing ropes so I cannot move a muscle. Bound to the spot, erect at the mast block. Now, that's a horrible image. Any man being erect at the mast block, I hope he just means that he's standing up tall. Lash my ropes to the mast, and if I plead, commanding you to set me free, then lash me faster. Rope on, pressing rope. So what he was basically saying is, look, I'm going to struggle here. because these sexy fish like sirens, they're pretty good at doing the old sexy talk. And I'm a man, even at our weakest time, even when we've got flu and we can't move a muscle, one of our muscles will move, and we're weak. We are weak as men. And so he says, just anybody that... Actually, I've just thought of a problem with this, because if he's tied to the rope and all these sailors are all around, they're going to just jump into... I don't understand this story now. But anyhow, the theory is that they then protected him from these sirens. And so he had this pre-commitment. How they protected themselves, I don't know. Because if they were all tied up, how do they get off them? I don't know. But anyhow, that's the idea of it. So you can pre-commit. You can make... intention easier. And so if you want to start changing your life or building online income, one of the things you've got to do is make the extra time. And so you've got to look at your life and think to yourself, right, where am I wasting the time? Where can I claw it back? So on a Friday night, I always go out for a boozy night with my mates, but I deserve it. I've worked hard. So I'm going to keep that one. But what about the Wednesday one that just sort of appears? No, what I'm going to do, I'm going to block that out on my calendar, and I'm going to say, non-negotiable, this has to be building my business time. And you put it on your calendar. Now, it doesn't seem like a lot, but when it comes up, you've already decided that that's what you really want to do. And so you're going to say to him, look, I can't because it's booked out on my calendar. Oh, please come out. No, I'll come out on Friday. I won't do it now. And there's many, many different examples of how you can do this. And some of the ones that I've done, I decided I was going to cycle around on my bike, like I was a 7-year-old again. And so I got rid of my second car. So when I need to get around, I either walk or I get on a bike or a bus or something. And it's a bit of a pain. So I'm quite happy getting on the bike now, but I had to sell my car because otherwise it was just sitting there and you think, I'll just jump in the car. It'd be easy. So that was my pre-commitment. I got rid of the car so that I knew that it would make it easier for my future lazy self. I have to use the bike. Another one I did was blocked websites by using an app called Freedom, so that it was harder for me to get online. I started getting into little habits of looking at YouTube and stuff, and I used to do it as kind of research, but then you just go into rabbit holes and you get lost. So I've now blocked those, and so it's harder for me to get online. Yeah, you can get round the system, but it's a bit of a pain. So that's my pre-commitment again. And across the world, you know, people buy clothes a size or two smaller so that they know that they've got to lose weight to get into those clothes. You might arrange in advance to meet someone at the gym or, you know, the running track, whatever, because that's your accountability. Oh, I've arranged. Oh, they're going to be there. I better go. Or stop walking past the newsagents where you go in and buy your cigarettes, your fags every morning. Go a different route to make it easier for you to break those habits. And you can, you know, you can just do hundreds of these, but you really do need to look at what you're doing in your life and decide on what you want moving forward, and then set up the structure, I suppose, set up the framework of how you're going to do it so that you can make things easier for yourself. You know, one of the things I did recently was, as I did an episode on it, I own a shop. And it became a bit of a pain. So I started doing things with the staff's hours. So they got used to it when I changed it. So I would start to sort of move things around and say, you don't have to come in till 3 o'clock and you don't have to come in till 10, because they were so used to doing their hours. Anything different would have been a bit of a shake up, a bit of a wake up call for them. And so I started just putting certain things in place at certain times so they got used to it. Letting them go a little bit earlier, don't have to do a Sunday, that kind of thing. And so when the next member of staff comes in, then I can say these are the hours, and the guys will kind of expect it. They're not going to have their nose put out of joint because they've already seen it in operation. Okay, so Pre-commitment is a brilliant way of starting to hit those goals and make that success and those achievements come to you. But you need to actually plan it in, okay? So tell me, drop us a line. Tell me, what is your pre-commitment? Is it that you don't go to the supermarket when you're hungry? You make sure that you're full up so that you don't buy extra. How do you do it? Drop us a line. You can leave a voicemail from the website. You can come over to joinupdots@gmail.com. You can do anything you want, really. Just send a message to us and we will share your pre-commitment successes and strategies with others. And it's how you do it, okay? You know that you've got to do it in the future, so you set it up forward thinking. Make your lazy future self have to work because you've already set the structure up, okay? Powerful stuff. Now, we're going to be doing a lot more podcasts on mindset because it's a great life hack, one that you'll find in almost every realm of whatever you do, developing mindset and bringing the strategies in. And a lot of them are very simple, and a lot of them only need you to get used to doing them, and then they become a habit, and then you're firing on all cylinders. But certainly I think there's a lot of people out there that are still riding along on the, oh, I'd love that. Oh, I'd love not to have to go to work. Oh, I'd love that. You got to start building it, okay? That's what we're here for, okay? So, have a sexy day. Enjoy yourself. If you see any sort of sexy fish women, keep away from them. They're not good. And definitely, if you are going to go out with a mermaid, it's got to be the top bit, isn't it? It's got to be the top bit's the woman, and the bottom bit's the fishy bit. There's no other common sense route, I suppose. Anyway, you look after yourselves, you stay sexy, and I'll see you again soon on another episode of Join Up Dots. See you again. Cheers. Bye-bye. Yeah, hello, it's me again. I want to ask you a question. Would you like to see me in my underpants? No, of course you wouldn't. But I've created a life when I can live in my underpants all the time, and nobody knows I'm a podcaster. And why am I a podcaster? Because it's the best thing to do nowadays to grow a business or just have fun and make income. Whatever you want to do, podcasting means that you connect with people, and those people can become listeners, and listeners become customers. People buy from podcasts. That's the way it is. And so many people nowadays are doing that thing. They're jumping on the bandwagon, but believe me, they're doing it wrong. I'm going to be showing you why they're doing it wrong in a podcasting masterclass coming soon, where you can see the 3 stages that I use every single day to mean that I make income, I have fun, I enjoy myself. It's all through podcasting. If you want to know how to turn any business into a multiple 6-figure business and beyond, then go over to podcastersmastery.com. Sign up for your ticket for the free masterclass. I'm going to be hosting it live. I'm going to be there. I might be in my underpants as well, and I'm going to show you those 3 steps that I have used to turn Join Up Dots from a zero show that nobody listened to as I say, a multiple 6-figure show doing very, very well when I can sit in my underpants all day having fun. Podcastersmastery.com is where I'm going to be hosting it. I will be there. Hope to see you soon. Look after yourself. Cheers. Bye-bye.
That's the end of Join Up Dots. You've heard the conversation. Now it's time for you to start taking massive action. Create your future, create your life. It's the only life you've got. We'll be back again real soon. Join Up Dots, Join Up Dots, Join Up Dots, Join Up Dots. Join Up